being fat is making you weak and it's making you infertile. So for you to understand why and how, you got to understand the two key sex hormones in our body. So the first one is testosterone. This is the masculine one, and then the other one's estrogen. This is keeping it really simple because obviously there's like other hormones too, but these two hormones are what I'm going to be discussing today. When you have testosterone, your body makes estrogen from testosterone. So then estrogen is made from testosterone using an enzyme called aromatase. Aromatase in men is produced predominantly in your fat cells. So the more body fat you have, the more estrogen you produce. And this has been shown scientifically many times that the more body fat you have, the more aromatase activity you have, the more enzyme aromatase is being produced, okay? So the more fat you have, the more aromatase you have. The more aromatase you have, the more of your testosterone will be turned into estrogen. This alone will make you more feminine, more weak, and less fertile because you're a man, you're not a woman. For women, of course, estrogen is their fertility hormone, okay? But not for men. So that alone will cause that. But the real problem is the fact that estrogen is what your hypothalamus in your brain uses to measure how much testosterone it's producing. It is basically what signals to your brain to basically regulate how much androgens and testosterone you end up producing. So basically estrogen activates receptors in the hypothalamus, which is part of your brain, the ARC, RP3V, and the kisspeptin neurons. So they're neural pathways in your hypothalamus that modulate gonadotropin releasing hormone, which is GnRH. Gonadotropin releasing hormone is what tells your pituitary gland to release luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone. Follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone tell your testicles to produce testosterone and sperm. Okay, luteinizing hormone for testosterone, follicle stimulating hormone for sperm. So what essentially happens is when you have elevated estrogen, that activates more neurons, like stronger activation of those neurons in your hypothalamus. It tells your body, oh shit, we're making too much testosterone, we're making too much androgens. So what are we going to do about it? We're going to reduce the stimulation of the testicles by reducing GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone, and then that in turn reduces luteinizing hormone and follicle stimulating hormone, which reduces sperm and testosterone production in your balls. Which leads, well, that's essentially hypogonadism. That's like the scientific term. Basically, your balls aren't working anymore. And obesity has been shown to have a high correlation with having low testosterone, lower fertility, and poorer quality sperm. Okay, so the sperm are less strong. That's why you're less fertile as well, alright? You produce less sperm and they're not as fast, essentially. Okay? So, from different studies, obese people have been shown to have 30% lower total testosterone and 15% lower free testosterone. Free testosterone is like testosterone that can actually activate receptors, okay? And estrogen in obese people has been, well, one study from 1979, I think, on morbidly obese men showed 2 times more estrogen in their blood. Like their blood level of estrogen was 2 times higher than someone who is lean and healthy. Okay? So basically, excess body fat, you don't have to be obese, but if you are like skinny fat, if you've got like gynecomastia, you know, when you've got like boobs basically, if you've got even if you're a little bit chubby, you've got a little bit of belly fat. Well, you got to understand that is reducing. Look, maybe not to an extreme level. All right, those are on obese people. The test, like the numbers I just gave you, but regardless, you're still reducing your gonadotropin releasing hormone. Your estrogen's still high. You've still got too much aromatase. You know, and this really does make you weaker and less fertile, okay? And that alone will make you less attractive to women, but, you know, and less able to reproduce properly. So if you want to have a family, if you want to have children in the future, well, you might not be able to. You might find out when you're ready, like you're, I don't know, 30, you want to have kids, you might find out that you can't even do it. So like this is a real problem. You might think this is like, oh, it's just jokes. It's real shit. If you have excess body fat, you will not be able, like, look, there's no guarantee that you're going to be infertile completely, all right? But you will be reduced ability with regards to that, okay? This is not healthy. This is not good. Yeah. The only way to fix this is by losing excess body fat so that you stop producing so much aromatase, so that your estrogen will come down, so that your estrogen receptors in your hypothalamus get less, like lower activity, so that you produce more GnRH, you produce more luteinizing hormone, more follicle stimulating hormone, you produce more testosterone, and you produce more sperm. That's what you need to do if you're currently fat. Okay? Now, on my YouTube channel, I've got dozens of high quality educational videos that teach you scientifically how to lose fat effectively, all right? So you can check that out. It's completely free, of course. Or if you want personalized help from me, then I have a community that you can sign up for. Yes, it costs money, but I will personally coach you to get lean rapidly using science, all right? And there's a course in there as well, and there's other people. So if you join that, then you will get really good results, all right? I will make sure of that. That's my mission in that community. But regardless, if you can't afford it or you don't want to, that's fine. I still have a YouTube channel, like I said. But yeah, this is a serious problem. Like you can fix this pretty quickly just by losing body fat. The ideal body fat percentage for men is 10 to 15% body fat. Usually, this is where you can see abs, not necessarily a six-pack if you're on the higher side, but regardless, this is the range that is optimal for both health, fertility, attractiveness to women, all right? You don't need to be fucking shredded to the core, 0% body fat for women to notice you, all right? You just need to be lean and healthy and fertile, essentially. It's in this body fat range that you have the least amount of stress hormones, you have the highest quality sleep, you have the highest testosterone, you have the most attractive body. Like everything that you want is between 10 and 15% body fat. So if you can get down there, you will be well off, all right? So yeah, I hope this brings awareness to you that there is this negative feedback loop, that the fatter you get, the less testosterone you have, and the less testosterone you have sort of makes it easier to gain more body fat, because testosterone helps prevent you from storing as much body fat. When you lower testosterone and increase estrogen, estrogen actually helps favor more body fat storage around like your hips and your thighs, basically. So it does create a negative feedback loop that will make you have really low testosterone. Like if you're like really obese, you'll have 30% lower testosterone. And of course, if you get fatter and fatter, that's just going to get lower because your brain keeps thinking there's too much. We got to lower the amount that we make because it thinks you've got too much testosterone, but you don't, because it's all getting converted into estrogen. All right, it's a negative feedback loop. You have to break the loop by losing body fat so that it basically reverses itself and you start producing more testosterone and converting less of it into estrogen. All right, so yeah, hope this helps you and good luck, bro.